Well, hey there, my sweet little magnolias. How are y'all doing? Today is a fabulous day, and we're continuing our healing journey. We are going to start Gate 2 today, which is the Optimism Gate, out of the book, The 12 Gates of Healing. You can get this book in the paperback format. It's really big. It's 8.5 by 11. On Amazon for less than 15 bucks, and Kindle is less than 10. And I am coming out with a hardcover edition that will include a journal / workbook in the back. Like I say in every video, if you cannot financially afford these very inexpensive tools to help you heal, I don't want that to be a barrier for your healing. So just send me an email. The email address is down there with your name and address, and I will mail you a free paperback copy. Okay? If you can't afford it, I don't want that to be a barrier. All right? Okay, so we have completed the first gate, which is the acceptance gate, accepting that you need healing, accepting that things that weren't great happened to you as a kid and as a teenager and as an adult, and that you need healing. And we identified some things that were helpful, I hope. They were for me when I went through it the first time, and the second and the third, and on and on and on. Okay, so Gate 2 is the Optimism Gate, and we are going to start today with the first key. And I'm giving y'all a trigger warning. We are dealing with past trauma, so some of you might get triggered. And we're learning how to not get triggered, and we're learning how to stop the triggering. I don't know what else to call it. Yeah. Anyway, as you heal, you will become less triggerable. Is that even a word? Okay, the first key is learning to follow the light of hope. As you exit the acceptance gate, you see before you another gate. And as you step up to that gate, you can see through it. It's a beautiful light-filled meadow bursting with a plethora of wildflowers in bloom. Yes, I used the word plethora because I like it. Beyond the meadow, you see other gates and a light emanating from beyond the last gate, which is the light of hope. Until this point, you have probably been walking in a gray fog, not able to clearly see the path ahead. That's what trauma does to us. Trauma has clouded your vision, but now you are beginning to believe that you can truly be healed and walk into your happily ever after. That's a great feeling, isn't it? If you aren't quite there yet, don't worry, because the light will become more visible to you as you continue on this path to wholeness. So, before I became aware that I could heal, I thought the rest of my life was going to be miserable. I believed that I was destined to die by the age of 30. And I tried to make that happen multiple times, but it never worked. Thank the goddess. But I couldn't see any hope. I couldn't see anything good happening, you know? And then I had my first baby, and I felt like a terrible mother. I felt like I couldn't be a good mom. He'd be better off without me. And then I had my second baby, the same thing, and the third baby, and the same thing. And here I am, 3 little kids at the age of 28, feeling like such a failure. And it was overwhelming. And I felt like didn't matter what I did. And I tried so hard to be a good mother. I tried to not do what my parents had done to me, but it was constantly a struggle. I had major anger issues. It was like there was a volcano inside of me that would just erupt unexpectedly. And then I would feel terrible after the eruption, and I would cry and apologize and hug my kids. And I never beat them, but I verbally beat them. I was a screamer, a yeller. I would just overreact to the smallest little things. And because of that, my children are in therapy. Just saying. They needed it. They need it because I was unhealed and I was unable to be the kind of parent they needed me to be. And then by the time the fourth one came along, I was 36 or 35 when she was born, but turned 36 shortly after. And I was more healed, but I still made a lot of mistakes with her because I wasn't completely healed. But between baby number 3 and baby number 4, I had discovered that there was an opportunity for me to heal. There was a chance that I could heal. And I was just getting into that when Shannon was born, the last one. And so she had a better upbringing, I think, than the other 3. But it was still not perfect. Is it ever? And, I wasn't the only parent. So they have issues stemming from the dad, the unhealed dad, who is, by the way, still unhealed to this day. And I wish that he could heal. I wish that he would heal because it would help my children tremendously to have a better relationship with their father. But I can't control that. Just like no one can tell you when to heal. It's a choice that you have to make for yourself. It's work that you have to do for yourself. So, we're going to work in this gate we're going to work on learning how to follow that light of hope, learning how to put your foot on the path, learning how to see that there is a future. In that future, you're not broken. You're not tormented. You're not traumatized. You're not triggered easily. That's what this gate is about. Learning how to look forward and find the hope that you need to motivate you to continue the journey. So we're going to get into the first exercise now, which is called Finding Normalcy. So just like always, when we do exercises, I'm not doing the exercises with you right now in the moment because you're not here and I can't talk to you. You can just listen to me. So what I'll do is I'll go through each of the steps of the exercise with you, and you can take notes if you want. And then when you decide it's time for you to sit down and do it for yourself, you'll have a little bit more understanding. Okay? So if you don't have a piece of paper and a pen to take notes or some way to take notes with you right now, pause the video and then go get that and come back. Okay? Okay, let's get into the exercise. This is the first exercise in this chapter, and it's called Finding Normalcy. Now, I know a lot of people think normal is not definable, and it's really not. Everybody's normal is different than everyone else's normal, but you need to find your normal, right? So, when you sit down to do the exercise, make sure you have a notebook or journal, a pen, and I always have a box of Kleenex with me because I find that I cry a lot. And then you're going to need a quiet space where you're not going to be disturbed, and you're going to need to be prepared to spend some time. All right. Now this one is mostly utilizing your imagination. And I know some people have a condition that doesn't allow them to visualize, but if that's not you, this is a really powerful, powerful exercise. It helps you understand what it feels like to not live in a constant state of chaos, because that's what you've been living in. As an unhealed, traumatized person, you're always expecting something bad to happen. It's always chaotic. I know, because I lived it for decades, and it felt awful, and it caused a lot of health problems. So this exercise is designed to help you feel what it's like outside of that chaos. Okay, so are you ready? The first thing you'll do is connect with your spirit team and ground yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, there's an index in the back of the book that will help you with that. I think it's called the woo-woo chapter. Yeah, that's where I describe all of the spiritual practices that we talk about in the book. And I also talked about it on the first lesson. So that would be the second video in this series. I talked about it there too. Okay. So once you've done that, you've connected with your spirit team, you've grounded yourself, you've got your space, you've got your journal, notebook, pen, and some tissues. Then take 3 deep cleansing breaths, and you're going to take them in through the nose and out through the mouth. Do that 3 times because that helps calm you down. Now, the first thing, and this is where I talked about visualization and imagination. You're going to close your eyes and you're going to imagine yourself walking through the gate into a beautiful meadow. However you want to visualize it. If the gate and the meadow doesn't work for you, but a lake does or the ocean does, wherever you find peace. For me, it's the mountains with lots of trees. I'm a mountain girl. Some people are ocean people. Some people are just open, wide open meadows. Some people love the desert. Whatever feels like it would be peaceful to you, that's what I want you to imagine right now. And I want you to stay in that place with your eyes closed, imagining as long as you can. And I want you to breathe while you're there. Just, it feels so good to be here. And when you're finished with that and you feel the peace and you've connected enough to where you feel that calm, that peace, that serenity, that freedom, then you write down what you're feeling. You write down what you saw. You write down what you smelled, because a lot of us, I'm one of them, have an amazing imagination, and it gives me the ability to smell things. There's this place that I went to back in the summer of 2020. It was in Yosemite National Park, and it was called Mirror Lake. And I went there one afternoon, and I was by myself. My companions had gone off hiking different places, and I found this row of rocks that went across the lake at the top of the lake and formed like a little dam, and then behind those rocks was the little waterfall. And I walked out to the middle of that wall or path of rocks, and I sat down and I put my feet in the water. And there were mountains all around me and trees, and it was so quiet and peaceful and serene. And squirrels came to get a drink, and deer came to get a drink. That's the place I go to. That's the place I imagine when I need to find peace in a chaotic situation. So whatever that place is for you, that's what you want to find. And then you want to take notes about it. You want to write down what you saw, what you smelled, or what you imagine it would smell like. And can you imagine yourself being there and feeling joy? What do you feel? Write that down. I didn't put that in the book, but yeah, that's a good point. Write down what you're feeling. Write down if you're peaceful, if you're calm, if you feel just so wonderful. Write that down. And then after you complete that part, that's when you'll need to do some energy clearing, you know, the sage, the Palo Santo, anything like incense, whatever. You can take a selenite crystal, cleanse your space with that. And you want to do that as soon as you're finished with all of the exercises, because you don't want to take that any now this energy wouldn't be bad because it's calm, freeing energy, but for most of the exercises it's a little painful, and you don't want to take that with you wherever you're going, whether it be going to bed or going somewhere and interacting with your family or other people or whatever. When I first did this exercise, I cried. It was so good. It felt so good to be at peace, finally, to let go of everything I was carrying. I just laid it all down, and this is before I'd gone in 2020 to Mirror Lake, so I had just imagined a place that I'd gone to as a child. It was called Yankee Boy Basin, and it was right outside of Ouray, Colorado, and it was a meadow just covered in wildflowers. We were there in the early summer, so it's spring in the early summer. Everywhere else it's spring in the mountains, and there was a pond, and there was mountains surrounding, all snow-capped, and there were flowers everywhere, a plethora of flowers. And that's where I went the first time I did this in my mind, and I cried and cried and cried because I felt so at peace for the first time in a very long time. And that's what you need to get out of this exercise. And if you can't do it the first time, try it again and again and again until you can get there. Because you need to feel what it feels like to be free of chaos, to give you hope that you can get there. Eventually, that will be your daily life, is freedom from chaos. So do whatever you have to do to press in and experience that. I don't care how many times you have to do it. I don't care how long you have to stay there. Do it. It's worth it, and you will love it. The next thing we'll do on Monday is the second key, and it's called Chaos is Not Your Home Planet. So be looking forward to that. And for those of you who are going along with this, leave me some comments. Let me know how it's going for you. Send me an email. There go the dogs. Send me an email and let me know. If you have any questions, if you need any help, let me know. And I will help you the best that I can. All right, I got to go get ready for the Ren Fair. Love y'all. See you next time.